Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a little while since I made a video, so it's time to make a video. um, yeah, things are going kind of funny for me right now. Not in a bad way, just kind of trying to figure some things out. Um, it's just, I think I'm not used to things being, I'm used to going and going because of school and being like, I'm used to being busy, and now I am really enjoying the break, but I'm not used to, like, unless I force myself to go out and, work in DoorDash, which has been kind of slow here and there. And I've been doing my fair share of it. I've been putting in a good amount of work DoorDashing, and I definitely have bills to work for and stuff like that, but it's been a little tiring, and luckily I'm blessed because I have the ability. I can choose not to DoorDash or not, or be out here working and stuff like that. And so it's really nice. I don't have anything major like hanging over my head, which is great. And so while it is really nice if I was to DoorDash and just keep on working or just stick it out, it's also kind of driving me nuts a little bit because I'm not getting any orders right now, and I don't know, I'm itching. I'm itching to do something and to not be bored. And so I decided to head home, and I'm gonna just work on my room and work on things. I got some Christmas cards to do, so there's plenty to do, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I've been trying to kind of set some plans up. Not that I'm discouraged, it just hasn't panned out yet. With people I'm hanging out with, I kind of want to see and things like that, and waiting to hear back from people about availability and stuff like that, their schedule and things like that. So, just working some things out, but I think I'm going to see my friend tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see him, and just figuring some things out still. I'm planning to DoorDash on Friday night, which is a busy night, and I don't know, I think I just need to take a break. I think I just need to take a break from all of this right now and just take care of the other things I need to do at home, the simple things, the simple laid back kind of things, And so I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to just get home and just kind of relax and not really worry about too much. It gets hard sometimes when you're really trying to do a lot. You're like really trying to get so much done, And we don't really have to. I have a spiritual thought that I want to share with you guys. Every once in a while I get called upon to share a spiritual thought in church, and I haven't been there for our meeting lately because of being sick and then giving someone a ride, but and we're not having a meeting next week because it's a shorter service this Sunday. And so I'm going to share my spiritual thought with you guys now, and I'm going to try to share this in the best way I can. I had this on my mind earlier today. I met with the missionaries and my friend Billy, and it was just wonderful. But I had this thought. They had us watch a video from the church, which is like super great, so good, down to earth, awesome video called The Christ Child, about Jesus being born in the Christmas story, It's wonderful. But in it shows the wise men, and they came to Jesus, and it was nice because a nice different interpretation that I haven't ever seen before was, we read about the wise men bringing him gifts and everything, but in the video, Jesus was already like a couple years old. He was like maybe 2 or something like that, and that's when they came to him in this video, the wise men, to give him his gifts. And this spiritual thought has to do with my personal thoughts about Christmas and giving gifts and getting gifts, buying gifts, affording gifts, giving gifts, the spirit of Christmas, the hustle and bustle, let's just say the compulsion to get gifts for people and to make sure that everything goes well. I've been finding myself asking the question to people a lot lately, are you ready for Christmas? And it's a funny thing to think about. I think we're going deep here today, guys. I think this is going to be a deep, good thought. But yeah, it's funny to think about, are you ready for Christmas, right? What does that mean? What does that mean? And when I ask it, I kind of ask in the cliche kind of way, like, oh my gosh, like we all know Christmas is busy. We all know it's a busy, busy time. We all know that it's like so many things are going on. So many things have to be done, right? There's always something, a dinner to prepare for, gifts to buy, food to cook, plans to make, decorations to hang, decorations to bring down from the attic, or trees to all this kind of stuff. It's such a hustle and bustle kind of time, right? We all know about it. And so generally when I ask, are you ready for Christmas? I don't even engage in all of that. I might be different than a lot of people, but either way, I don't, personally speaking, I don't do that. Like I kind of do, but I really don't. For the most part, I don't. And it's just different. I'll share a little bit more about myself and how I do it. And then I'll share more about the other thought I had that sparked this whole general thought. In the Christ Child video, like I said, the wise men came before Jesus, and he was about 2 years old at this point in the video, and they laid down, he was standing in front of them, and he was a little too young to understand who they were and what was going on. But then again, he was also Jesus, and so, he's God incarnate, and he has like the Holy Spirit and everything. So they bow down to him. He's a grown man, of course. They all bow down to him and are worshiping him and are crying. The guy stands up and he's looking at Jesus and he's crying. And it's like, I think I would be crying too if I was that guy and I was like standing before Jesus and I knew who Jesus was and I knew how special he is and all these things. I think I would be crying too. And so he was crying and he was just looking at him. And when they gave their gifts, the way they did it was so important, I think. It was so special. Because it wasn't like the way they give their gifts in all these other videos I've seen where they're like, oh, this is all we have. Please take it. Please take it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. That wasn't the way they did it in this video. And I really liked the way that they did it in this video. They worshipped him, and after they worshipped him, they had gifts that they had for him already that were prepared for him, and everybody knows these gifts: frankincense, gold, and myrrh. These are all fine. Gold, everyone knows what gold is. Frankincense and myrrh were special rarities, exquisite items, right? Spices and scents and things like that. Well, anyway, these things were very special and sacred. Well, these were high value gifts, but it wasn't necessarily about the value, I guess, but it was because they had these gifts for Jesus, and I didn't get the impression that the wise men were all poor and they had to do everything they could to get these things, but at the same time, it's like, these are gifts you give a king, right? And the point is Jesus is a king, and these gifts are fit for a king, And so, I'm kind of taking a long time to say this, but what I'm trying to say is the way that they laid the gifts at his feet were just so cool to me. They just took them in these little boxes, and they just set them down at his feet, and opened them. They were open so you could see what they were inside. And not that a 2-year-old baby Jesus knows what to do with gold, frankincense, and myrrh, but it's the principle. And I just really liked the way that they laid the gifts at his feet. Like, they weren't like, oh my gosh, we have to give these to you. If we don't give these to you, we're going to die, And no offense to anyone, but we can really adopt that mindset sometimes at Christmas time, right? That might be an exaggeration, but it's very based in reality. We come across that way sometimes when we're Christmas shopping, gift giving, or all these things. We stress so hard, and we say, well, I have to get them something. I have to get them something. I have to get them something. If I don't get them something, then they're going to think something's wrong, or they're going to think they were forgotten, or they're going to think they're not loved, or all these things. And I'm not trying to make fun of us at all, but we just really get a little bit too carried away, is my general consensus. My general feeling about things is we really get too carried away, and we really lose the sense of the spirit of Christmas. And or at least I think we do sometimes. Yeah, I think we do sometimes. Because it's okay to stress out and get Christmas presents and work really hard to get things for people, make them special gifts for them. And it's such a wonderful time, right? It really is. And I just haven't really been a part of that for a while, because I've never, for like the past few years, I've not been making a lot of money, and I haven't had the money to get everyone gifts. And I think that's something that everyone kind of fears or is so worried about. They really struggle and worry about that, because they think, like, I have to work so I can afford Christmas, or my kids have to have Christmas. And that's true, and I don't want to discourage anyone from doing that at all. I just want people to know that if you get into a place where things are hard and you can't afford things, don't feel bad about not giving people things, because it's not about giving people gifts. It's about showing people that you love them. And I want to take a step back and say it's not even about showing people that you love them, because I just kind of want to de-escalate any kind of stress in the holidays at all. And what I want to do is I want to show you guys that you think about Jesus. Think about how he was born. He was born in a manger. What is a manger? A manger is where animals eat their hay. It's not a bed. It's definitely not a bed for a newborn king. But it was. He came from a humble place, It wasn't big and flashy. It was basic. It was bare bones. It was, this is the best that we can do. This is organic, if you will. And just thinking about all that. And, I kind of have certain watermarks, I guess, in my life to keep me, or safeguards. Safeguards, a better word. I have safeguards for myself in my life to prevent myself from getting too overwhelmed, too upset, or too caught up in certain things. And like I'll do things to protect myself from not getting too worried or not too upset about things, like Christmas or the holiday season, for example. Like, in other words, at least I just haven't for years. And I kind of always taken the chill approach, because things are so crazy. The holidays are so crazy, and some people can't take it. No offense, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but like it's really tough. I know we all have a hard time with it here or there somewhere. The stress can get to you, right? And that's not really what the spirit is about. That's not really what Christmas is about. And I kind of just wanted to remind us all that that's not what it's about. And it's so great. I mean, if you really think about it, what a blessing to give anyone a gift, right? What a blessing to be able to give someone a gift. It's a blessing. It's because it's more blessed to give than to receive, right? And so it's such a blessing to be able to give gifts. But just to share my reality, I personally haven't been on that page for a while, and like I love people. It has nothing to do with how much I love, or how much I want to, or how much I want to give, or all these things, or any of these things, or any of those things. It doesn't have to do with any of those things. It has to do with You know, I have so much. I have so much I can give. I have so much I can give, and I don't let myself give more than I have. You know, like if I have something, like I do the best I can with what I have, and I don't feel bad about that. I feel a striving because I want to do better each year. I want to become better. I want to make progress. I've had a lot of struggles for a while and haven't really understood my purpose in life and my career and things like that, my goals and things like that. And you know, I've worked jobs, and I mean, you know, imagine working a job where you don't know what your future is. Like, I'm working this job and I'm doing this thing, and yeah, it's great and everything, but I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel purpose in this job. I don't feel like this is what I'm here on earth to do, right? I don't feel like this is my purpose, right? So and it takes a long time to figure that out. And I am categorically a late bloomer in a lot of situations, and a lot of late bloomer. I'm just who I am, but I'm a pretty late bloomer, and that's okay. Everybody is the way they are for certain reasons, and everyone is where they are for certain reasons. And I think some of the coolest things about us is how God makes us unique and different. And why, right? Why does he make us certain ways? And it's very interesting. And is it up? Should we stay that way? Is this an inherent quality that we can't really change? I think some of those things are true, that we can't really change who we are sometimes in certain ways. We don't, because we could do things to change. We could do things to change ourselves, but sometimes those things that change ourselves, sometimes those things contradict who we actually are, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, I could do X, Y, and Z, but I would be betraying myself because I know that truly I don't really want to do that, and that's not really me. That's not really a reflection of who I really am. I could do this, but it's not really a reflection of who I am, you know? And so I don't do those things because they're not a reflection of who I am. Like my brother was telling me about the success he has on the water as a waterman, catching oysters or collecting oysters or whatever you want to call it. And he was trying to tell me, like, in a nice way, a positive way, like, you know, Justin, you can make a lot of money doing this. Basically, it's not that hard. It's not even hard at all. And he's like, you know, all you need to do is this. And he's had that conversation with me before in the past, and I did consider it. I thought about it. I prayed about it. And I didn't choose that because I didn't feel like that was necessarily where I needed to go. And at the time, there was something else that I felt like I needed to do instead, process of elimination. It made more sense to do the other thing than that thing. So I did the other thing. And he was just telling me a little bit about it today, a little bit more. And we were just talking, and it just came up, and he was just telling me about it, you know. And it's just great. I love talking to my brother. But I just told him, I was like, you know, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm not going to get involved in it. I'm not going to become a waterman. I'm not going to do these things, you know. I'm not going to do these things. And it's okay. I don't have to, right? I don't have to. There's no pressure for me to do that. There's definitely no one with a gun at my head saying you have to do this, right? And so, but plain and simple, I'm just not going to do that. And part of the reason is because I found what I want to do. I have figured out what I really want to do. And I am working towards that. I am on my way to that. I'm working really hard to become that, to do that. I know that when I get there, I'm going to be so happy. I know that I'm going to feel so great, and I feel fulfilled as I take the steps to get there. I feel fulfilled as I take the steps to get there. So I kind of know it's the right thing. I just feel a burning. I feel a knowing about it that it's the right thing to do, and I feel so glad about that. But my situation isn't a really lucrative situation. Like, I'm just now going to college now. I'm 35 and I'm just going to college now, you know? And so I don't have a career. I don't have a lucrative job. My job is a very non-traditional, on-the-fly kind of works for me kind of job. My job works for me, you know, and it's a tough job and I have to work hard for it, but it works for me. It works for me in my situation and being a full-time college student and all these things, you know. So in other words, my life is the way my life is for certain reasons, and I don't have to explain it to anyone. But long story short, the reason I'm saying this is because I don't make a lot of money, and so because I don't make a lot of money, I don't have a lot of money to spend for gifts, and that's okay. I don't have to have a lot of money to spend for gifts, and I think some of us really need to help balance the equation a little bit, because I think sometimes we go a little bit too overboard on things. And I'm not trying to hate people who have money and who buy a whole bunch of gifts for people, because that's wonderful. And I sure love receiving gifts. I'm not trying to ask for gifts, but I'm just saying everybody likes getting gifts, receiving gifts, and giving gifts. But I just kind of wanted to share my personal prerogative and personal perspective about it all, and to share and kind of talk about what I do and how it makes me feel, and you know, a little bit about where I'm coming from and things like that. But like, the thing that I really like to do, and I've never really, through my life growing up, when you're younger and you're immature, you don't really appreciate certain things. You appreciate, I mean, you like, it takes a while to even appreciate things, I think, sometimes. And you find things that you like, and then you're trying to learn gratitude, or you know you should be appreciative, and you are, or you're trying to be, but sometimes it's easier to be appreciative of the gift that you get rather than the card that you got, right? And as I got older, I started appreciating the cards more, and it's just different. It just hits different when you get older. The holidays hit different, and life is different. Everything just hits different. But the thing that I like to do for Christmas, for people, if I'm able to, and again, like I've been working so hard as a full-time student. I've worked so hard to make sure everything's done, and I've done my best, and I've all these assignments to do, and just have worked, and have a calling at church, and family responsibilities at home, and bills to pay like everyone else, and I just do the best that I can. And so I didn't put pressure on myself in order to get this done, but it just so happened, aka it just so worked out, that I was able to do this. And it's what I like to do. It's what I like to do each year. But again, I don't put the pressure on myself, because I do the best that I can. And basically what this all boils down is, I'm not going to kill myself to give someone a Christmas present. And that doesn't come from selfishness. It doesn't come from I'm a Grinch or have a cold heart or anything like that. It just comes down to, I have certain boundaries for myself, where I know myself, I know my life, I know me, and I know life, and I know that it's more important for me to take care of myself than it is for me to break my back in order to get people presents. And I guess ultimately I might need to work a little harder about that. But at the same time, like I've had like, oh man, this is like coming out, this sounds bad to say, because it sounds bad for me to say this, but I feel like I've had more important priorities, if you know what I mean. Like, I really needed to figure out what I need to do with my life and what I'm going to do for my career. And it's taken a lot of work and trial and error. I never even really said this, but it's been so much trial and error to figure out what I want to do and what I need to do, what I'm supposed to do, all those kinds of things, And you live and you learn. You try and you make mistakes, and then you change. And this is just where I am. But the thing that I really like to do is I like to get those boxes of Christmas cards, because you can get a lot of them for a lot less than if you got them individually, of course. And that's the way to do it. And I mean, Dollar General sells them, And I was so thrilled, because I had $10, right? I had $10 that I could use it for something, right? And so I was in the Dollar General the other day, and I was thinking about what I needed to get. Do I need to get any supplies? I've been working on all the other things, working on my necessities, making sure I get my necessities, things I need: deodorant, new razors, toothbrush, things like that. And I'm like, okay, I've gotten all those things. Okay, I don't need anything. I don't need any toiletries. Okay, I'm good on that. I'm good on this. I'm good on that. And I'm like, do I need any soup? Do I need any noodles? Anything like that? And I'm looking at everything. I'm like, no, I don't really feel like I need anything like that. I feel like I'd just be spending that money the wrong way. And then I started floating around. I did look for the cards at first, but then I asked somebody, and to my surprise, they actually did have some. They took me there, and I looked at them, and they had these packs. They were $3 a piece for like some of them were more elaborate cards, some of them were straightforward cards, and some of them were $3 for 6 cards or $3 for 8 cards. And I got 3 packs. And in other words, I got over 20 cards for $10. And it makes me so happy because I have so much love. I have so much love to give and to share. And it's hard when you don't have the vehicle to share that love, when it's like, when you don't know how to share that love. Like, you have this love for people, right? But you're like, what do I do with this? How do I share this? How can I do this? How can I share this? You know? And the tradition and the cultural norm is get them a present, get them a gift, you know? It's like, well, we can't always afford gifts. We can't always afford gifts. So, you know, that's just how it is. And that's okay. You don't have to afford gifts. You don't have to. And so when I get my Christmas cards, I love it because I can sit there and I can put everything I have into these cards, you know? And it's such a good exercise. It's such a good exercise. So good for the heart, you know? So good for the heart. And so that's what I do. And that's just what I do, you know? And so I have a bunch of Christmas cards, and when I get home, I'm going to work on them, and I'm going to you know, get my Christmas cards ready because I need to, right? I have them. They're not going to write themselves. I don't need to put it off till tomorrow. I don't need to procrastinate. You know, I have the time. I have the cards. I have a kitchen table and a brand new ink pen, my favorite kind of pen that I used in school. I found my favorite kind of pen this year in school, and I burned out all those pens. I used all the ink up in all of them, but I found one that I misplaced, and it has all the ink in it. And so I got the perfect pen. You know, you hear what I'm saying? So it's just right, you know, it's just right. So I'm not trying to tell anyone how to do Christmas or how not to do Christmas, but I'm just trying to share some calmness, I guess, or some peace of mind with everyone so that they can kind of feel that same spirit of peace and to know that we're all working so hard in all of our different ways, in all of our different lives that look different, you know? But I just want to encourage everyone that it's not about, you know, it's not about the presents. It's not even about it's not about the cards. It's not about any of that. It's not about any of that at all. It's about, you know, obviously we wouldn't have the Christmas season. We wouldn't have hope or we wouldn't have true joy if it wasn't for Jesus, because he is the hope that we need. If we didn't have him, we wouldn't truly have hope. Think about a world without truly having hope. It's a crazy thing to think about, but we truly do have hope because of him. Because we have that hope, we have joy, right? And so he's really the reason for the season, right? But I think also at the same time, the other reason for the season is the love that we share with others, that the joy that we share with others. We come close to our families this time of year. We spend time with our loved ones this time of year. We share gifts with one another. We share special times. We share time with others. We share our time with people. We spend our time with people. We spend our time together. We spend our time in each other's company. We spend our time just hanging out, enjoying each other's company, and listening to each other and talking to each other and eating food and, you know, all these things. And to give gifts on top of it all, it blows my mind. You know, this is so amazing. We're so lucky, and there are so many people who are just, you know, so less fortunate than us that don't have gifts. They're not going to get gifts. It's very sad, you know. So I just want to encourage us all to think about this time of year, what it means to us, and what we do with it, and how we do what we do with it, because we're just as important as anyone else, and we deserve to have peace. You know, we deserve to have peace. We deserve to have all the wonderful feelings that we should have, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to share that with the people that we love. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for being able to share that with those I love. I'm so thankful for these cards because it's a way I can say, and it's a way I can show people and tell people and share with them how I feel about them and how much they mean to me and how much I love them, you know? So I'm really thankful for that, and I say all this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.